Hey, hi everyone. Good evening. This is Nidhi from LetsUpgrade. So, can I have your all introduction, from where you have joined and whether you are a working professional or you are a student? So, it will be great to know. Can we have some introduction in the chat? I cannot see much introduction. Can you all please introduce yourself? I guess I'm audible to all of you. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Hi, Vinay from Dehradun. Okay, nice. So, tell me whether you all are student or you are working. क्या कर रहे हो भाई लोग बताओ. आदर्श तिवारी स्टूडेंट मुंबई. ओके. ऋतिक फ्रॉम महाराष्ट्र. मैम सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा जो रजिस्ट्रेशन किया है. यस सुधा सर्टिफिकेशन मिलेगा बट उसके लिए आई विल बी टेलिंग यू द स्टेप्स यू हैव टू फॉलो दैट. Okay. So we have people from Nigeria as well. Okay. Hi, I'm Nandini. Hi, Nandini. Hello, dear. I'm first year student from at IIT Province in Nampai, Pandal. Okay. Hi, Badhu. I hope I'm taking your name correctly. It's really great that you know all these, you know, things, these much things. I'm a student pursuing B in IT. Hi, Silent Night. Okay. So why I'm here actually, I'm not at all your trainer. So I will be introducing you all with your trainer in some time. But I'm here to tell you that after completing this, 2 day course, how you are going to be eligible for getting certificates, right? So for that, just let me share my screen. Okay. I hope my screen is visible to you all. Sudha, I will be informing all about the certificate in some time. Ma'am, from Hi Akash. Okay, so can certificate नहीं skill मांगता है अपन को. दिपेश अगर skill मांगता है तो all you need to do is do practice. Then only you can develop your skills. Okay. My screen is visible, right? So I welcome you all to the first day of your Python for data science 0 to hero. So there are some steps which you need to follow for getting your certificate. So as you all know, this is a 2 day free program. Okay, so कोई पैसा चार्ज नहीं हो रहा, कुछ नहीं हो रहा. So totally free. Daily 2 2 hours का lecture होगा. So there will be a 2 2 hour lecture for both days. Okay. So for successfully getting your certificate, the very first step which you have to follow is you have to go and register yourself for this program. Okay. So you can just visit Let's Upgrade website, or I'll request mod. Okay, the mod has already shared the link. It is pinned in the chat, so you can just click on the link and get yourself registered. Okay. If you have not registered, you will be not getting certificate. That is for sure. The very second thing what you have to follow is you have to attend both the days, and then you have to fill your attendance. Okay. So unless or until you are not putting your attendance, also put your attendance with the correct email ID. So whatever the email ID you have registered on Let's Upgrade website, you have to put your attendance with that email ID only. So 6025 Harni. I'm talking in both the languages because we have people who understand only Hindi or something. So that's why it should be comfortable for them as well. That's why I'm talking in both the languages. I hope you understand. Okay. So after you attend, okay. So after you attend both the days, you will be eligible for giving a small exam. Okay, so for exam, you will be notified via mail. If you pass the exam, a certificate will be available in your profile. Okay, so as soon as we announce the result of the exam, you will be able to see the certificate in your profile. So this is the place where you can even go and check your certificate. Either you can use either this link, or you can just log into your LetsUpgrade account, and right corner you will be getting you know, in your profile you will be able to see the certificate. So certificate will be added to your account, but if you want to download those certificates, you have to pay 200 LU points, and then only you can download the certificate. Okay, so this is one more thing. And now you might be thinking, how can I read in physical? Okay, so now you might be thinking how to earn those LU points. Well, this is very simple. All you have to do is you have to register yourself for different you have to register yourself for different programs. Every turn, I will be telling you about the all the attendance and everything. Just stay tuned with us, okay? So, if you register for programs, you will be getting some value points. The second step is you can refer those programs, okay? So, the more you refer, the more value points you will be earning. Also, we have a leaderboard for that as well. So the more you refer, you will be eligible for getting all these gifts. Okay, so the first prize, you will be eligible for getting a smart watch, you will be eligible for getting a Bluetooth earbuds, and then coupons as well. Okay, Amazon coupons. So this leaderboard gets updated on monthly basis. Okay, so for every month we have first, second, third as winners, and so the steps are very simple. You just have to log in to your LetsUpgrade account. Then you have to click on refer and earn, or you have to just go to the leaderboard wala thing, and from there you can get your referral link of every particular program has a different referral link. So you can just go check out there and uh, click on the link, get the link, share it with your friends. You can share it in your college group, like you will be having college WhatsApp group and all. So you can share there. And if you want to check whether you have come on the let's say the leaderboard or not, you can click on this link. You can copy this link, and you will be able to check out whether you have reached that one first, second, third mark or not. Okay, so that is there. Certificate is not paid. Certificate is totally free. It's just that you have to pay 200 LU coin. Okay, so that 200 LU coin we are charging you to get you verified. Okay, so that is the case. And LU coin जीतना बहुत easy है. So there is nothing you have to pay to get the LU coins, right? So you just have to refer the program. That's it. Nothing else. So people were asking about the attendance. Attendance link will be shared in the chat. Also, it is updated in the description of this YouTube day one wala session, so you can go and check out. Ma'am, attendance. Lavanya, I just told you about the attendance wala thing. So mod will be sending attendance link in a short while, and you can check out there. Also, if you like whatever we are doing, if you like your trainers teaching and all, I will be telling you about this. So we also provide paid program, which is our full stack program. So if you join essentials 0 to 0, so you are standing here, and to go from 0 to 1, what step you have to follow? So you can join our full stack program. So within 6 months, we promise you that you will go from 0 to 1. Then you will be learning from the industry experts, and the sessions will be 100% live. So, and also we have a personalized cohorts of maximum 30 students. So in a batch, you will be not having more than 30 students. So also, and we will be developing 15 plus projects and plus and a capstone project as well, so you will be getting training while learning as there only. So this is one thing. Then there will be a personal one-on-one mentoring sessions, like every 15 day you will be have one mentoring session. There will be a particular student mentor will be assigned for you, who will be guiding you, or if you face any issues, they will be, they will be the one, your point of contact. So this is very easy, very seamless. You can just we have provided us so much ease for you to learn. Okay. So also for the certificate part, you will get the certificate by NSDC, ITM, and LetsUpgrade. So this is actually for your full stack program. You can just check out it on our website. And uh, so this is 100% job guarantee also. Okay. So if I am telling you all these 6 steps, after all these six steps, the next step is you will be getting placed into a big MNCs. Okay. So why these logos are here? Because we have recently placed our full stack student in all these companies. Okay. So that's why we are showing it that what we are capable of if you join our full stack course. Okay. After that, yes, I'll ask the mod to share the form link. Okay, so this the form which mod has shared, you, if you go visit your our website and you have liked the curriculum and all everything, please come back and uh, register yourself using this form only. Okay, so this and after filling the form, there will be a person from our team that will be they will be actually coordinating with you, and they will call you, and then you can just get into our full stack batch. Any other doubts, guys? You can ask me. Garg, yes, job की guarantee दे रहे हैं हम full stack में. So you can just just fill this form. The mod has shared right now. Just fill this form, and then you will be able to talk to one of our counselor, and then you will be able to see that how it is. Rishu, yes, job guarantee is there. Uh, Francio, yes, 100% job guarantee is there if you join our full stack program. Guys, any other doubts you have regarding the program, or else we'll start today's session? Rishant, there are many recruiters, and we have not included everyone in this slide. So just Prashant, there is no requirement for this course. You can join if you are a fresher also, or you can join if you want to change your department. You want to upgrade yourself. So you can just join this program. This actually start from the very basic, and then we take it step by step. We take it ahead. So there is no nothing like that. You have this to have this previous knowledge. Garg is merge stack, not mean stack. Okay, so let's start today's session. I think we are done. I have explained everything to you all, and you now you know that what you have to do to get yourself certified and get your certificate, and how to refer the program. Okay, so let me call you your trainer. Yes. Hello, Gaurav sir.
Hello, Nidhi ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. So yeah, so your today's trainer is Gaurav sir. He is actually working in our industry, and uh, further I will allow him to introduce himself fully. And yes, sir. So you can start from here. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Uh, Hello everyone. I hope my voice is clear. सभी को मेरी आवाज अच्छे से आ रही होगी. So let me start by introducing myself. So सबसे first thing that I'd like to say, the very basic would be that all of you might have this question ke how to become a data scientist or a machine learning engineer or AI के field में कैसे entry ले. Do you necessarily need to do data related data science के courses या computer science का background चाहिए, or do you need maths as a background? So these are some basic things that I'll clear first of all by introducing myself कि मैं first of all non computer background से रहा हूँ हमेशा. I've always been a mechanical engineer. I've served 2 years in my industry as a supervisor in mechanical, but after that, मेरा passion हमेशा रहा था more towards learning the science of data. That was statistics. So soon मुझे पता चला कि data science is a field that I can opt for, and this is where I started learning data science on my own. The first thing that I did was कि मैंने सबसे पहले Udemy से I still remember सबसे पहले courses खरीदे थे. कुछ 500-700 रुपीज के कोर्सेज थे वो. एंड वो टाइम पे मुझे इतनी नॉलेज नहीं थी. लाइक आई डिडंट हैव एनीवन टू एक्सप्लेन मी करना क्या है, कैसे स्टार्ट करना है. आई स्टार्टेड लर्निंग ऑन माय ओन, और वो कोर्सेज थोड़े आउटडेटेड थे. प्रेफरेबली वो कोर्सेज थे मोर टुवर्ड्स पाइथन 2 के वर्जन के लिए. तो वो थोड़े मेरे लिए मतलब ओवरवेलमिंग थे. इट वाज लिटिल ओवरवेलमिंग टू स्टार्ट विद, बिकॉज मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था ऑन माय ओन. इवन गूगल वाज अ नाइटमेयर एट दैट टाइम्स. तो एज यू विल रियलाइज, आप भी समझोगे कि स्टार्टिंग में इट इज ऑलवेज द स्टार्ट जो थोड़ा पुश ज्यादा मांगता है. इट रिक्वायर्स लिटिल मोर एफर्ट्स इन द स्टार्ट, बट इफ यू स्टिक टू इट थिंग्स बिकम वेरी इजी. Soon as I started learning, started understanding what Python is and how basically it works, things got a little easier for me. Because after that, understanding data analysis, data visualization, this is something that I did as a part of my post graduation also. So after finishing my bachelor's, मैंने decide कर लिया था कि I am going for a post graduation in machine learning and AI का field. So I finished my degree as a AI specialist, and soon after that I was open to jobs in the market. The first job that I got was as a Python developer intern. ये internship में basically I was working in Mumbai. Now the company के अंदर जो वर्क था, what I was working on was basically very simple Python codes handle करने थे. It was more like कि just Python को समझने की ट्राई चल रही थी इस इंटर्नशिप पे. एंड once I completed this, I also did थोड़े optical character recognition करके एक concept होता है. Like there is technology जिसमें आप OCR करते हो, जिसके अंदर मान लो कि आप एक स्कैनर बनाते हो, आपके पास जो भी इमेजेस हैं आप उसमें से टेक्स्ट निकाल सकते हो एंड प्ले अराउंड विद दैट. तो वो इंटर्नशिप का पार्ट रहा था मेरा. Soon after that, I got another job in Bangalore, which was for data engineering. Now data engineers क्या होते हैं, again a topic of different day, बट इन शॉर्ट अगर मैं बताऊं तो समवन हु हैंडल्स द डेटा मैनेजमेंट. कहाँ डेटा स्टोर होगा, कहाँ से डेटा रिट्रीव होगा, डेटा कहाँ से कैसे जाना चाहिए, दिस इज समथिंग व्हाट एज डेटा इंजीनियर लोग करते हैं. Now after this, I currently from the past 7 months I am working as a machine learning developer या engineer कह लो in Gurgaon now. Now this company that I work for, ये basically काफी state of the art machine learning technologies use कर रही है, and I am completely handling this project on my own. मान लो from the very raw, जहां से डेटा आता है, जिसमें मान लो आपको डेटा को क्लीन करना है, प्रोसेस करना है, डेटा को मशीन के लेवल तक लेके जाना है, उसके बाद मॉडल भी चलाने हैं, मशीन लर्निंग के मॉडल चला के आउटपुट आएगा. वो आउटपुट के लेके देयर इज समथिंग नोन एज नेचुरल लैंग्वेज प्रोसेसिंग, जिसमें मैं जो भी आउटपुट आया है टेक्स्ट का, उसके ऊपर सेंटीमेंट एनालिसिस करता हूँ कि मेरे कस्टमर्स के सेटिस्फेक्शन लेवल क्या है, कैसे नहीं है. एंड देन दिस इज हाउ बेसिकली मैं करंटली वर्क कर रहा हूँ. नाउ apart from my experience, my learning curve, मैं आपको एक और चीज बताना चाहूंगा कि also for all the students who aspire कि आप यहाँ पाइथन सीखने की बहुत वजह हो सकती है. पाइथन इज नॉट ओनली फॉर डेटा साइंस. सबसे पहली बात, पाइथन इज अ प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज, और मैं आपको बहुत ही बेसिक एसेंस में प्रोग्रामिंग क्या होती है ये भी बताऊंगा. बट बिफोर वी स्टार्ट, आई जस्ट नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि क्या यहाँ पे सभी लोग कंप्यूटर साइंस बैकग्राउंड से हैं, या देयर आर सम पीपल हु आर ओके. आई बिलीव माय वीडियो इज लैगिंग, इज इट ओके? जस्ट अ सेकंड, I'll try to swap my Wi-Fi. Just a minute guys, अगर मेरी वीडियो लैग होनी बंद हो जाए, just let me know. How about now? Is it a little okay? Okay. Hello. अभी थोड़ा better हुई reception. Okay, I'll try to speak once again. Yes, better. Okay, great. So yeah, I just want to understand how many of you are not from computer background. या आप लोग अभी bachelor's कर रहे हो? How many? Okay. So sorry guys, थोड़ा network issue I guess persist कर रहा होगा, but I've switched to my mobile data. Just let me know if there is any improvement in my voice. Is it clear? Okay. Trying to speak once again. Starting Python 0 to hero course. Is my voice clear? Okay, voice is clear, but video is lagging. Never mind. Let's not focus on video. I'll also even just cut the video for now. Voice should be enough for today's lecture. So, anyways, start करते हैं by let me first start introducing to you programming के concept के बारे में, like what is basically programming. तो I'll first of all assume, ये मान के चलूंगा कि यहाँ पे एक भी स्टूडेंट ऐसा नहीं होगा जिसे ये तक ना पता हो कि कंप्यूटर होता क्या है. We all have seen computer. Computer could be even in the form of laptops, right? तो मैं इन सभी जनरल टर्म में बात कर रहा हूँ. मैं आपको ना इस लेवल से प्रोग्रामिंग सिखाऊंगा आज. I'll teach you in this format that you will be able to understand the very core essence of programming. Now, yes, so everyone has seen a computer, so let us begin with that. So what essentially is a program doing in computer? Yeah, what is basically a program for a computer? So let us understand this with a very basic essence. जब हम कोई भी की दबाते हैं, when we give a input to the computer, say we press something on the keyboard, we use a mouse to click something, we turn on the power button. So every action that we are taking gives us a response or a reaction, right? Now, how is all this happening? So all this happens with basically something known as program. Now, what is program? In computer terminology, program is nothing but a set of written instructions. आप कुछ चीजें हैं जो लिखते हो एंड एवरी टाइम यू हिट दैट प्रोग्राम, उस प्रोग्राम को रन करते हो, दोज इंस्ट्रक्शंस आर रन. मान लो यू पावर ऑन अ कंप्यूटर, you play the power on button. What are you exactly trying to do? You're directly pushing something to the hardware. कंप्यूटर में एक हार्डवेयर होता है. व्हाट इज हार्डवेयर? तो जो भी बेसिकली रियल लाइफ में आपको, नॉट वर्चुअली, रियल में आपके कंपोनेंट्स जो हैं, जैसे आपका मदरबोर्ड हो गया, रैम हो गया, ठीक है, बैटरी हो गई, ऑल दिस सीपीयू हो गया, जीपीयू हो गया, ये सारे कंपोनेंट्स जो हैं हार्डवेयर. नहीं, सारे हार्डवेयर जो हैं दिस आर हार्ड वायर्ड. ये वायर के थ्रू कनेक्टेड हैं, इनके अंदर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फ्लो हो रही है. दिस इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इज बेसिकली कंट्रोलिंग एवरीथिंग, जिसकी वजह से आपका डिस्प्ले चल रहा है, आपको डिस्प्ले पे कुछ दिख रहा है, आपको ऑडियो चल रहा है, वीडियो चल रहा है. अंडरस्टैंड दिस बेसिक थिंग. नाउ व्हाट इज प्रोग्राम डूइंग हियर? तो जब भी व्हेन यू आर ट्राइंग टू प्रेस द पावर बटन, व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू डू इज बेसिकली यू आर ट्राइंग टू रन अ कोड. When you're pressing something with the keyboard, you're again trying to basically press a hard code. So this code will basically try to run some commands. Now this is something that is hard coded programming, which is already there in a computer. Now there are some sort of programming codes which we personally can write, which we personally can execute. So initially, when computers were created, and till this date, they have only one particular language that they can speak. It is known as machine level language, which is what this hard coded devices or components are doing. Now whenever I say machine level language, I'm talking about binary language, which means what? Only zeros and one. Now I assume that many of you will know this, that binary is the language of computer. it means that the computer can only talk or reciprocate in zeros and one coded language. But do you ever think, or do you ever try to understand that why was binary the chosen language, or why is binary basically the most suitable thing to talk to a computer? Now, if in case you try to see or try to imagine that, or try to just rationalize that why was it, I'll give you the answer to it. So first of all, if you understand, binary is the most simple language to build in terms of hardware. When I speak hardware, I speak about the components. These components are joined together by wires, electrical wires which conduct, right? So whenever I have to activate something, I will say 1. When I do not have to activate something, I'll say 0. What does this mean? It will mean that at this time my current should pass through that wire, which will tell 1. My current should not pass through that wire, which will mean 0. So this is how basically the computer is built, and this is how we make computer understand things. Now, when I talk about humans, humans converse very differently. When we talk, we speak, we write, we have a very different way of doing that. So it becomes a little difficult to initially program something to the computer, which is why when computers were built in the 80s 90s, it was a little difficult. I'll say in the 80s it was a little difficult to talk to the computer. Now soon later we realized that machine level language से better alternative है. We can build something which is known as assembly level language. Now I'll basically start my screen sharing. Just a second. I just hope that my screen goes visible to you. Yes. So I hope my screen is now visible to all of you. Okay, perfect. So let me just try to basically tell you something about this assembly level language kya hota hai. Now, first of all, when you imagine that computer can talk only in what, zeros and one. So this is the binary format in which the computer can talk. Something computer understands. But what about us? For us, it was a little difficult. So what does assembly language do? So assembly language, it has mnemonics. It has certain keywords जो hard coded hai. One good example could be add. This is basically a keyword. Now, what does add do? Add has predefined set of commands. What does it mean, predefined commands? So basically आप जो basically कंप्यूटर की लैंग्वेज में लिखना चाह रहे थे, मान लो यहाँ पे हम एग्जांपल बताऊं, एग्जांपल अगर मैं बताऊं, हो सकता है ऐड का मतलब ये हो सकता था, मे बी दिस इज समथिंग इन बाइनरी व्हिच मींस ऐड. So instead of writing this 0011000, you will just write add. This is what assembly language would mean. ये programming language. अभी करती क्या थी? What does this language do? So when you type, say something like this, add basically 3,4. So what would this do is, यहाँ पे आपको लगेगा एक assembler. Assembler क्या करता है? So basically assembler is something which will convert your written things to basically computer level language, and then it will try to teach the computer, it will try to explain computer that what 4, which would mean as simple as 7. So now after this, assembly level language was something which gave a boost to many people to learn programming, because it became very easy. Initially it wasn't, now it became easy. And now then comes the languages of today's world, which are known as high level languages. Now what does high languages mean? Python is one example of it. So high level means where you write codes in a language which is very much familiar to you. मैं आपको एग्जांपल दूं तो हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज में अगर आपको एडिशन लिखना है, so you can go as simple as this, 3 + 4. This is the example जैसा पाइथन में ऐड कर सकते हो. Now what would this mean? This means very much similar to human style. This is what high level language would mean. Now again, once you understand high level languages का मतलब क्या होता है, let's talk about Python. Python is best when it comes to high level languages because Python इतनी ज़्यादा easy बना दी गई है that it is very much easy to understand Python. And today we are going to understand the very basic of how basically we can start our programming skill set कैसे start करें, ठीक है? Now let me first of all let us first try to basically understand कि Python को कंप्यूटर में इंस्टॉल कैसे किया जा सकता है. So मान लो first of all if you have a computer, so you can first of all search something like command cmd. अगर आप विंडोज यूज कर रहे हो तो, अगर आप विंडोज नहीं यूज कर रहे हो, मान लो आप लिनक्स पे हो, तो आप कंट्रोल ऑल्ट टी मार के भी टर्मिनल खोल सकते हो. बट सपोज इफ यू आर ऑन विंडोज विच मेजरली यू नो आई बिलीव मेनी स्टूडेंट्स आर, यू कैन स्टार्ट समथिंग लाइक कमांड प्रॉम्प्ट. ठीक है, आप विंडोज आर मार के रन भी यूज कर सकते हो, रन में cmd टाइप करके ओके दबा सकते हो, आपकी कमांड प्रॉम्प्ट खुल जाएगी. Now once you have this command prompt, once again how do you do it? आप या तो आप सर्च में जाओ, सर्च cmd, आपको इजीली यहाँ पे cmd मिल जाएगा, क्लिक करो, ओपन करो, खुल जाएगी. नहीं तो विंडोज प्लस आर कीवर्ड है, विंडोज प्लस आर, उसमें cmd सर्च करो, एंटर मारो, कमांड लाइन खुल जाएगी. नाउ अगर आपके पास पाइथन इंस्टॉल नहीं है तो वेयर पाइथन लिखने से आपको बेसिकली ये आउटपुट नहीं आएगा. ठीक है, मान लो अगर मैं कुछ और लिखूं, वेयर python लिख दूं तो समथिंग लाइक दिस, यू नो, could not find files of the given pattern, समथिंग लाइक दिस आपको आएगा. सो इफ आपका सेटअप कुछ ऐसा है कि आपके पास पाइथन इंस्टॉल नहीं है तो समझ लो पाइथन को इंस्टॉल कैसे करना है. लेट अस फर्स्ट स्टार्ट दैट. सो देयर आर 2-3 अप्रोचेस जो बेसिकली हो सकती है पाइथन को इंस्टॉल करने के लिए. उसमें से आपको सबसे सिंपल वाली अप्रोच बताऊंगा, विच वुड बी टू सर्च एनाकोंडा. एनाकोंडा बेसिकली एक डेटा साइंस कम्युनिटी का बनाया हुआ एक तरीके से मान लो प्लेटफॉर्म है जिसमें बहुत प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस आपको मिल जाती हैं. सो वंस यू सर्च एनाकोंडा, बेसिकली आप इनकी साइट पे जाओगे एंड सून यू विल फाइंड समथिंग लाइक अ डाउनलोड सेक्शन. ठीक है, नाउ हियर इट इज डाउनलोड, हाफ जीबी की फाइल है. If you click on download, ये executable फाइल डाउनलोड होने स्टार्ट हो जाएगी. As you can see in my download section, ये स्टार्ट हो गई है. So once you do this, ये डाउनलोड जब स्टार्ट हो जाए, ये फिनिश हो जाए, you'll just have to run through this executable command. .exe command है जब तक ये डाउनलोड हो रही है. Let me show you another way. Another way could be you can type download python. And when you click here, आप Python की ऑफिशियल साइट पे चले जाओगे, which is www.python.org. When you go there, python.org पे जब आप जाओगे, obviously there will be something like download Python 3.10.4. Now, हमेशा जब आप डाउनलोड करते हो, so the most convenient way is to download the latest package. But else, you know, अगर आप Python को समझ रहे हो, if you're understanding Python, so there are many different versions of Python also. So even if you click on all releases download section में, you will find many releases, you can say different versions of Python. Okay, initially you're just starting out with Python, so you don't need to bother much about which version is what and what does it even signify. But at high level, if you actually want to understand what these versions are, so these are releases. Every time, you know, Python comes up with some updates, the way, you know, your Android or iOS phones work, how do they every time keep on updating, upgrading, new Android comes in, you install. So similarly, new versions of Python are released. Here are the release dates and there are download options. Now the most reliable would be 3.7 Python. Currently the you can go here and again you can also download it from here. Now once you download from here, again you'll have to run this executable command around 250 MB something. Let me show you how to execute this. When you click on this, clicking on this, you know, will run a graphical user interface where you will have something like install launcher for our users and add Python 3.10 to path. Now what does this thing would mean? So first of all, it doesn't matter whether you're on Linux or any POSIX system or maybe like a Windows platform. Path means environmental variables जो एक system के अंदर hard configured होते हैं, which are always there. Now suppose if we go basically to this PC and I click on properties, basically suppose directly you will have a properties over here. But if you're on Windows 11, you can click show more options and click on properties. Now once you go there, this is something that you have to search for, advanced system settings. When you click on this, there is something known as environment variables. And when you click on environment variables, this is where you will find variables which are hard coded. Now what would this mean? So these are the paths where your system, your computer knows to search for executable files. So Python should be somewhere in this. अगर यहाँ पे Python नहीं है, then your system won't compile Python. If you can see, here is my Python, right? 3.8 version, which is there written over here. I'll show you again. That suppose if you are running something like this, if you did not click add Python to path, your computer will not know where Python is. So it is very important to do this. In case, assume you forgot to do this, in that case, what would have been the remedy? So first of all, you will have to find exactly with the where Python command where Python is located. It is in my C GURA app data local programs. Okay, so I'll go there, C users GAURA, then app data, then local, and then basically it says programs Python. I'll go to programs Python. Here you see 3.8 is installed, even 3.9 is there, no issues. I'll right click on this folder and I'll say copy as path. The shortcut would be Control Shift C. When you do this, you again go back to your system properties. In the environment variables, you click on your path, you click on edit, and then you click new. When you click new, this is where you will paste your path. Now you see I already have pasted this path, so I need to paste this path to any program. Even in future, you are doing something and it says you have to add path. This is what it would mean. So I hope this is sufficiently clear that basically what it means to basically first install Python and how convenient it is. Now when I click on install now, it will include many different things which are basically ideally which is the default Python coding platform, pip and some documentations. ये by default आ जाता है. In case मान लो I'm giving you all these options. Why? Because sometimes when we install Python, हो सकता there are many minor bugs and issues which may persist. So I'm going through some common ones. First was to install Python. Then there could be something like pip is something, pip is a package which is used to basically install things into Python. मान लो after installing you are not able to find this pip. So what you have to do is, first of all, if you're getting a pip issue, you have to search this pip get.py. When you click on this, you will find this link. You will have to first of all copy all this and then basically go where your Python is installed, maybe in 3.8. And basically somewhere around here you'll have to go to terminal, then type something like this, type null, can say get pip.py. ये लिखना होगा. Now this is troubleshooting. You need not worry, you need not do all this. I am explaining this in case if you find issues later on when you're practicing. So you should at least be aware what these issues could mean, and then maybe you can try this out. So once you have done this, you will see basically there is something like a getpip.py, the file which is created. Now you could have created in different way, but what I did was I used a command known as null command. So again I'll show you that command in case you missed that. So that would be type nul and this symbol with your file name, maybe get pip.py is the extension. Now py is the extension of Python files which are executable, जो आप run कर सकते हो, which you can play around with. So this is the format. You understand formats, right? Like audio is in .mp3, .wav, files are in .txt, presentation files are .ppt, something like that. Python files are .py for now. This is what you have to understand. And when you run this command, यहाँ पे एक new file बन जाएगी. You'll have a new file right over here. And when you click on this, you just have to paste This is basically just have to paste whatever we had copied from this site, and just once you copied this, when you paste this. Okay, so somehow I'm not able to copy this, but you can definitely try or download this and copy. Yeah, copy and paste. When you do this, just save this file. When you Control S save, that's it. You also have pip installed now. But this for all troubleshooting. Generally, you won't find this error. Yes, and installation start ho jayegi. Now I won't be installing because I already have Python installed in my PC. So Anaconda installation is also much easier. Easy. So yes, also I believe my voice is still clear. I will like to have feedbacks in between. If there are any doubts, questions coming up, you can throw them anytime. Now, once we click on this, when we click yes, let us install Anaconda, it will ask you where do you want to install this package. Usually C is fine, C program data is fine. It requires minimum 3 GB installation space, no problem. Click next. Okay, so basically, yes, again, I cannot install this already, have many things installed. But when you click next, you'll have Anaconda installed with you. Now, once you have Anaconda installed with you, there will be many different packages in Anaconda. I'll just show you how would that look like. So, yes, when you have finished installation of Anaconda, this is the interface which you should be expecting. Okay. Now, when you open Anaconda, you see there are many different things which are there in it. So this is the interface which you will see. So you see there is something like Jupyter Notebook. Now this is the very gold standard to start Python with. Uh, okay. So when just a second. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for the disturbance. Now when you have this Anaconda installed, the primary thing would be to basically launch this Jupyter Notebook. Now, how would Jupyter Notebook look like? So already have launched here. In a browser, this is where you will land up. When you click on basically this launch button, you will land up on this home page. Now, I believe that all of you are able to understand how to install Python, even through the Anaconda package thing or directly through the Python website, and to add Python to your path. These three things should be very much essential and cleared in the very beginning. If you have any issues in these things, then you won't be able to actually run through the remaining tutorial. So once you have Python installed, let us go to Jupyter Lab. This is good. Let us click on new and then select a Python file. So, okay. Now Python 3 is the standard. Obviously, you can name this notebook. So I'll say introduction to Python. I'll rename it. Okay, here it is. I can click on file, save as, wherever I want to save. Manlo, assume that something like right over here, say this is where I have to store Python in Python. Maybe something like let's upgrade folder. So I'll select, right click, copy as path. Now once path is copied, I'll go here and paste this. C, so it is asking C root. Currently, I have multiple OS installed. I have basically Linux also installed, so my D drive won't have this default running. My path is in C, so I'll go to C. Just a second, that drive is not accessible. In C, suppose if I select data, just in for example, and then I say file save as, and select data over here. So okay. So anyways, this is some error. Let's avoid that. So usually this is how you can save file. Now, once you are into the Python, so first of all, the very first beginning essence जो Python would have is that Python is supposed to be very easy. Now, Guido van Rossum, he is the person who invested himself in creating Python. Now, what was his reason to create Python is that he wanted basically a programming language which was very much high level and an interpreted programming language. Now, what does interpreted programming language means? So, मैं आपको ये interpreter, I'll explain you what does interpreter means. So, Python is supposed to be very user friendly. Python could be written in a text file, maybe in some editor, maybe in terminal. Up, you can write Python code anywhere. That particular program won't know what is written, but then you can use the Python interpreter. What it will do is it will take the input of wherever you have written. Suppose you have written in Jupyter Lab, suppose you have written in Word file, suppose you have written online somewhere in HTML file, somewhere, a text file in the .txt, Word file, text file, wherever you've written few things. Now, an interpreter would take this as input, read whatever you have written line by line, and explain it to the programming language that this is what it means. This is what an interpreted language would mean. Python supports object-oriented programming, which is a concept of some other day. It's interpreted high-level programming language. These are few things which you need to understand. Now, so why is Python so famous? Is so the first reason would be that it is running on multi-platform. You can run Python on Windows, Mac, Linux, Raspberry Pi, where not. Everywhere Python is compatible. The Python syntax is very simple. Anyone who understands English can understand Python. So Python allows you to write programs with fewer lines than some other programming languages. Manlo, if in X programming language you're taking 10 lines, in Python maybe you can do it in 6-7 ways. So it is much flexible also. It is much easier to understand. It is written over C, C++. All right. So this is something that you should understand, that why Python is becoming so popular these days. Now, where is Python used? So Python is basically used for in the domains of mathematics, that is data analytics के अंदर, data science के अंदर, web development server side जहाँ पे चल रही वहाँ, that is Python. Scripting जो हो रही है, system scripting, Python is useful. Now Python is everywhere these days, and hence it has become a gold standard. Anyone who has to enter the field of data science or programming must know Python. Either choose Python, either choose Java. Java is more towards, your software development size. If you have to become more like a programmer, if you have to stay more towards AI or data science or still a programmer, Python is very good language to learn. Now, let us start something with known as printing something. Now, I'll write something. Now, whatever I write, this is my input. And whatever I get as an output, जो terminal में output आएगा, that is something, that program returns me. This is something that I'm writing to talk to the program. I say, hello, Python. Now, this is something that I have run. Now, what does print command do? Print is a predefined command, which I explained you, right? Assembly language or high level programming के concept के अंदर. That print, this is not something, एक word नहीं है ये. This is a special word. ये print word basically in itself एक program है, जिसका काम क्या है? What is the use of print? It will try to print in the terminal whatever is feeded through it. I mean, what are we feeding in the brackets? So under the parenthesis, we are feeding hello Python. Now, when I will click run on this, this is the output which I will get. Now, congratulations. This is the first thing that you have learned in Python, the very first basic thing, a general introduction. Now, once you're done with this, I believe you,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah,
So your screen is up.
my screen is stuck.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a second. I'll reshare my screen. I'll reshare. Is my screen visible to you now?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. When I click run, it is executing, right? Perfect. Okay. So now this is something, the very essence of what Python is, how it is written, and how it returns the output. Now, Python has something very important, and it is necessary, essential to learn it as soon as possible. There is something known as indentation in Python. I'll write here indentation. Now, what does this mean? So it means basically, it refers to basically space at the beginning of the code. It refers to spaces at the, let's say, beginning of every line in the code, right? Suppose if I'm writing something. Now, don't worry, I'll be explaining you later on what I'm writing, but for now, let me write something. Okay, so if I'm writing something, you see when I press enter. Now, just look at this. My cursor, it is blinking over here. When I press enter, it has this much gap, right? I believe you can see this gap. This much gap has come up. Now, when I say print hello Python, and I execute this, you see I get output. But assume that I didn't give this gap. Assume I didn't give this gap, and I press enter. This is what indentation error means. That Python was expecting a space at this line. It is showing with this arrow at this line print. It was expecting a space, and how much space, it depends. Indentation is fixed in Python. It is expecting not just one single space. It is expecting a tab. Tab means what? This 4 spaces, right? You just press a tab, and when you run this, now Python is happy with you because it didn't found that indentation error. Now, in another programming languages, in different programming languages, indentation is only about readability. When you write things with indents mean these spaces. When you write with them, so it becomes easier to read to a human what you are writing. But in Python, it becomes an error because Python strictly, want to basically have indentation. This is the syntax of Python. This is how Python will work. So always remember, indentation is something that you should understand. So I believe things till here are also clear to you. What is indentation is clear. Now let us understand something known as comments. Now comments are basically used to explain codes. And comments लिखने के लिए as simple as this hashtag is the symbol used. Now I say print hello Python. I'll use a comment hashtag. Now whatever I write here, the computer would not look into it because it understands. Whenever it finds this hashtag, the computer will understand that this is not for me. This is someone who has written for himself. I added one more hashtag. I have written this code to print hello world. Now this is basically what I am using this comment to explain myself what I'm writing, right? Now when I press enter, you see Python will not give any error. It will give you the output. And these comments, they're also there in the code. Now what is the use of comments? Basically, they are more useful in basically if you're programming, you're writing a big code. Man lo 1,000-2,000 lines of code. So you cannot write this in one single day. Man lo today you are working, Monday is something you're working, Monday evening your shift is about to end, and you have written some 700-800 lines of code, and now you want to comment out something, so you can use comment. This is where I am stopping my work. The above line means anything, whatever you want to explain to yourself, that tomorrow when you come back to the work, you will understand why and where did you halt. One use. Second would be make your code more easy to understand. Sometimes logical statements, they need a little time investment. You'll have to understand the code mein likha kya hai, why it is written. So with comments you can explain it much more easierly. Suppose if I say 3 plus 5, it gives 8. But if I use comment, this is an addition example. You can change 3 and 5 with different numbers. So, someone tomorrow, if someone reads your code, he will have an understanding that what does this line mean. So comments are also useful in explaining what you have written. And it clearly mentions you can change with any number. So I'll have different outputs working. And if there is plus, this is what it means, high level programming language. You do not need to literally code till the computer level language to add. Just single plus kaam kar dega. It will do. So again, to comment larger sections, there are this doc strings. Doc strings क्या करते हैं? They let you comment on multiple lines. पहले मैं आपको दिखा दूं what is the limitation of comment. This is a comment. When I press enter, I am writing in multiple lines. When I say enter, error आ गया. क्यों? Because this is not a part of the comment. अगर आप comment में enter मार दो, you are exiting the comment. And if you have to write longer command, you use this format. You can write multiple and print all good. You see, it read whatever the Python. Again, I'll recap whatever I've explained to you. The first was why Python. How to install. What does it mean to add Python to your path? What is the use of pip for now? Once you install Python, you're running Python. I also explained you Anaconda, how that package, how to install it. And it has multiple things. Spider is also one interface which I use a lot. I use PyCharm. And then there's something known as Visual Studio, which I use a lot. Visual Studio, you can find the symbol in my desktop also. Jupyter Notebook, again, very useful for learning Python. So again, my tips would be to start with Python, you should start with Jupyter Notebook initially. And then also keep in mind that later, first, let us get well acquainted in Python. Then I taught you basically how to write in Python. I gave you a very simple command which is known as print. Then I explained you with good something basically let me explain you. So first come Python, then let us try to understand what variables are. So I'll use a doc string here. So variables are very much which means x can be any number and the output y can be any number. Now I'll also give you an example. If x equals to 3, then y will equal to what? You can comment and tell me the answer even before I write over here. I'm writing and expecting the answer. 3 3s are 9. So y should be 9, right? So yes, I'll appreciate all those who are using the comment to let me know what y would mean. Now this could be also, x can occupy any position. X could be 2. So then what would be y will be 6. So this is what a variable means, that stores values temporarily. So I'll define. Therefore, a variable is something that stores certain mentioned value. Okay. I'll give you an example. Now there could be different values. I'll be explaining you them soon enough. I'll explain you data types just after this. For now, मान लो मैं एक x variable. This is how you write in Python. Any variable name. It could be variable. Okay. For now, let me say x. X is equals to number 5, or y is equals to 3, or z is equals to hello Python, or hello world. No problem. Now, when I run this command, you see there won't be any output. There won't be any output because I have not given any output command that I need to see something. When I write print x and then run this, you see there is one single output, 5. When I say print y and run this, so how am I running this? So you see there's a shortcut known as control enter. Now control enter, I'm using that. But if you don't know, you can click on cell, because we are in this cell. Every this unit is known as cell in Jupyter notebook. Every single unit is a cell. Whichever cell पे आप click करोगे, you are selecting that. You see this green section, this green, they're complete. What is the output? 3. Why? Because this is how you code in Python, variables, that y should hold 3 in it. When I will say z, what is the expected output? Can someone tell me? Can someone comment out what would be the expected output? If someone can, well enough. Good. I'll appreciate those people who are commenting. If I run enter, you see hello world is the output. Perfect. Great. So this is basically how you can create variables in Python. But now what about variable types or data types? So there are certain types of data which you can create in Python. Now data types could be of many different types. Something known as bytes array, boolean, set, frozen set, dictionary, tuple, list, complex numbers, floats, integer strings, whatnot. But this is your first day into the Python, and I want to keep it very simple. Let me just explain you some basic data types for Python. Mainly if I'm using something known as strings. So what are strings? So strings, you can understand something that the text we write is known as string. Okay, I'll use a comment also. String should single inverted commas. This is what string should be written in. But if you see, if I hit enter here, this is directly the output. But this is not how basically we wanted it. We wanted to store it in a variable. So I'm using something known as string naam ka variable. String, string is equal to this. Now again hit, you see there is no output now. Why? Because whatever we have written, this has gone into this variable, but we are not printing that variable. So let's go ahead and also give the command print this variable, print string. And you see this is the output. Clear? So this is basically what the data type string means. String is something written like this. And once you write this, I believe this should be enough. And manlo, strings can have different ways to write it. Suppose, if I have to write something like this, string is equals to, if I'm writing this belongs to Python program. It's very useful. Now when you see, मैंने IT के बाद I have given an inverted comma. So for Python, what has happened? For Python, what is a string? From wherever the inverted comma starts till wherever the inverted comma ends. That is what a string is. When I hit enter, probably I should get an error. Okay, probably I should get error for this. You see, invalid syntax. This is not how a string looks like in Python. So how to remedy this? So for that purpose, we have single and double inverted commas which both work. मान लो you started a string with single inverted comma. So for Python, the string will be continuing. यहाँ पे double inverted comma, it found it, but no problem. It is still going ahead until and unless it matches the another single inverted comma. You see, when I run this command and when I say print string, it prints this inverted comma also because it was a part of string this time. What if I want only single inverted comma? So this time I will say single, I will say a double at the end. You see, there we have a single. So I hope this string is clear to you. Similarly, you have different data types. Man lo int a is something that I am declaring. Man lo if a I am declaring as 3, b which is a float, which means decimal. You have 25. So this is something that I am writing. Then for people who are from mathematical background, you will understand there is something known as complex number also, right? So ij is a complex number. X plus ij is the format for complex number, right? Now when I print a comma b comma c, you shall get all these outputs. A is 3, b is 3.25, and c is my complex. So all these are type of numbers, different data types that you can code in Python, store in Python, use in Python. Again, so there is something known as list in Python. List. What is list in Python? So list is something which starts. So list starts and ends with square brackets, and it can have any input into it. Suppose if this is my list A, L1, I'll say L1 is my list, starts and ends with brackets, square brackets. First is A, second is B, with comma. यहाँ पे comma is the very important thing in list. You specify multiple things with this. So you also make shopping list. Whenever you go to shopping, what you have to buy? Suppose you have to buy fruits. You have to buy some towel. Maybe you have to buy soaps. Okay, then you have to buy whatnot. Maybe X1, maybe X2, and so many things. So this is the use of list. List use kahan aati hai? To store multiple options. And when I say print list, you say this is what it is storing. In Python, this is the use case, and lists are very useful. They are used to maintain records. ठीक है? मान लो you are creating a program in which you are storing the list of workers or maybe employees. So employees is a list. Okay, it has different employees. So Gaurav is an employee, or Gaurav is an employee. Maybe Saurabh is an employee. Maybe you can say Ganesh is an employee. Maybe you can say Satyam is an employee. So these 4 people work in a company. You're writing a code. This means you have to hard code what are the employees. You see, this is your list. This is the use case of list. You can access list in different ways. Now, suppose list, the very similar data type to list is something known as set. And how do you declare list? So to declare list, I told you can use square brackets, or I'll just comment out here to declare list square brackets. Other way could be, I have mentioned in the above comment how to do that. Other way is to use predefined syntax, which is list, list, something like this. So if I say list 1 again, L1 is equals to list. You see list का color change हो जाता है. Why? There is a special reserved keyword. It's enough if I pass something like this. If I pass this into a list, it will store this again as a list only. So this is also a way to store things in list. या तो you can do this list with square brackets, or you can do this list with square brackets, whichever way you are comfortable. Now if you ask why different ways, so no specific reason for it. Whichever way you feel correct is correct for you. Both are same way. No difference to that. Now again, Something very similar to list. I'll start with that. It is known as tuple. I'll explain you what tuple is also. Let a be my variable. I'm assigning a variable equal to the right hand side. What it will have? It will have the value. Now tuple is something which has round brackets. Okay, or you can also do tuple, tuple with round brackets. It will still work. Same as list. Same as list. Okay, I'll mention tuple. Now tuple are useful when you do not have to change the values. Now remember, whatever we have written in list, this can be changed. Tomorrow, if Ganesh is leaving the job, I can update this tuple. Sorry, update this list. Satyam is leaving the job, I can update this. Gaurav is leaving, I can update this. Add something. Manlo, if I get a new worker, I can add the name of the worker to the list. So this is what in general list will also mean and is supposed to do. But I do not want something to change. Maybe account number. Account number of employees. This will always remain, or maybe Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card is a good example, right? Or maybe your PAN number. These are something which you do not want to change, or they will never change, or they can never be common to things. Man, 112 is Aadhaar number for someone. 1121 is Aadhaar number for some other guy. 1119 is something like this. Now, when you do this, when you print I, so tuple works very similar to a list. Only difference is now once you've created this tuple, now it cannot be modified, it cannot be changed, and this is what it means to be immutable. Immutable means ये change नहीं हो सकता. So when would you like to use immutable things? So one good example would be where you do not want your data to be modified by the code. Even by a single slight mistake, a single bug, a single silly mistake, should not overwrite the data, should not play around with these numbers. This is where tuple will be useful compared to a list. Now, this is also asked in job interview questions that why we use tuple even when we have list and when the functionalities are almost same, and why is immutability a good thing? So the answer is very similar. When your data is very rigid, when it is lifetimely, for a lifetime it will remain same, and in that case it is better to go for tuple because you do not want that data to be corrupted. Okay, so with that being said, I hope list tuple are correct. Similarly, there is a different data type which is known as dictionary, or even before that, let me explain you set, because again set is very similar to list or tuple. The only difference is those who understand maths, mathematics में जिसने set पढ़ा है, this is very clear. This is exactly what it means in programming also. So suppose if I'm creating a set A, something like this. Set B, it also has round brackets also, but you have to specify set like this. Okay. Once you specify set, suppose if I'm saying number 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 6. So you see 1 is repeated. Now, those who understand set in mathematics, they should start commenting right now. I'm writing the output. Those who understand set, please comment what do you expect as the output. Will you see this? Okay, I'll also give you a simple comment to answer. Will you see 1, 2 times or just once? Will 1 be repeated? And the answer, those who are able to answer, that is the use of set. And those who are not able to answer, just see the output. I'm doing control enter. You see 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. After that, this 1 is missing. This is what set does. It avoids duplicacy. It will not allow you to write two same names again and again. It will only be a list of unique numbers. This is what set would mean. I hope that is clear. One last important data set that you should know is known as dictionary, which is written by DICT, dict, as the keyword. Now, dictionary is something that has keys and values to it. It has the format of keys and values, something like this. You have first your key. Dictionary starts with this curly brackets. इसके बाद there's a colon and then your value. This is the format. And now write a dictionary in front of you. I'll write, say, dictionary A1 and dictionary A in second way. And suppose dictionary 1, I'll write something like this. Name equals to, say, John, and comma. Age equals to, say, 23. This is one way, which is, using the hard coded or the keyword DICT with square brackets. Or, just I just explained you this format. You can use first this. Name equals to John, comma. Age equals to 23. And this should be here too. Now when I say print dictionary A1, print dictionary A2, do you think both the dictionaries will be same or different output? Try to comment. Will both the output be same? Yes or no? Same output or no? First output is this, dictionary name and age. What about the second one? I'm printing second one together now. Yes, both are different ways to write dictionary, but they mean same. Now again, it depends upon your choice. What do you want to use? Any method is fine. Just this is how dictionaries are created. Now, when is dictionary useful? I'll give you one particular example of dictionary. Suppose I'm creating a dictionary hotel. That I'm mentioning first P as workers. I'm mentioning worker 1. Suppose these are names. I'm not writing names. You imagine these are names, W1, W2, W3. My hotel has 3 workers, comma. I also have basically waiters, okay, in my hotel. So waiters could also be a list of, say, waiter 1, waiter 2, okay, waiter 3, and waiter 4. Suppose I have 4 waiters in my hotel, and I'll keep the example short, but in real life it is a very complex example. How many cooks do I have in this hotel? I have 2 cooks, maybe C1 and C2. Okay, when I run this, so just a second. Okay, just a second. Comma. Okay, perfect. So yes. Right over here, you see the syntax should be colon, which I missed that. Yeah. So now once you are here, if I print hotel, you see my entire dictionary is printed. But this is not the very best way to use dictionary. The best way to use dictionary would be, suppose if I need list of my workers, then I'll say dot workers. And when I run this command, you see, just a second, if I run this command, you see I'll have a list of only workers. Now this is where dictionary shines out. Suppose I want to know how many cooks and their names are. Okay, I have used capital C while naming it and not S. You see I'll have cooks right over here, C1 and C2. This is the best use case of dictionary. Dictionary could be used where not. Library, suppose library is an example. You will have different sections: news, knowledge, current affairs, literature, art, so many sections in which books are written. So you can have keys as your categories, and number of books you have as values. Suppose name and is a key. Value could be your Aadhaar card, your PAN card, whatever. You can link things like this. You can create tables like this. And this is something known as a non-structured data, no SQL, job in the future, which we'll be learning. Now, in case you are so much interested in learning things, there is one important thing that I would like to say. How can you master data science? Now, here I'll give you one particular example. First is you can try to learn on your own, which I tried, but it was a little difficult. So I switched to post graduation. Second could be basically you can join some institutes. Now there are many institutes in the market, but there is one problem which I faced, which is the reason that I didn't join this popular branded institutes. which are many available in the market. What was the reason? That all of them, they promise different things and they do not deliver that things. They will give you a very big curriculum in front of you, that we will do this, we will do that, we will do this, that, and what not. But it is not being done. Not being done. They only teach at high level. Even the post graduation which I have done personally, it only just, it was as simple as reading the index, reading the curriculum. They didn't teach in much details. So here is something that I would like to personally appreciate Let's Upgrade. Now, of course, I am a tutor at Let's Upgrade, so will be thinking that this is a pitch, but no, this is not a pitch. No one is paying me to do this pitch. To be very clear, I have my full time job, and the only reason that I am available on Let's Upgrade is because of the teaching methodology. I have my friends, my ex-colleague who's a senior to me, like he's very much professional in his teaching. He is also a faculty in Let's Upgrade. And that is why I know them very personally, that they emphasize on teaching things which are very much essential, something as simple as data structure and algorithms. No other batch I found online who teaches this or gives maximum priority to it. If you understand data structures and algorithms, you have a very strong fundamental in programming and the field of data science and computers. They will teach you a lot more concepts with real time tutoring. Suppose I am an industry person. I know what is required in industry. I take interviews of people. Like even on Monday when I go to my company, I have 3 interviews lined up for the role of machine learning and Python development. So I know basically what is required in the market. And this company, Let's Upgrade, they find people like us who are into the market and they bring us to you. Now, what do we do? Suppose, this is a very essential, you can say, lecture that I'm taking, the basics of Python. But when you go for a full stack course with them, uh, people like me will directly impart knowledge of industry to you. Suppose if I'm working in natural language processing, I'm working in speech to text, I'm learning I work as a deep learning engineer. So I'll share my use case. I'll try to share the data which I work on. I'll replicate the data and directly get you work on it. When you work on this data, you become actually industry fit. Why wouldn't a company want to accept you when you already have worked on their data? So this is how they promise 100% job guarantee. They guarantee you to fix a job until and unless you get it. Now this is something not all can promise. Like one of my friend, he also graduated from a X institute, not naming an institute, but he was also guaranteed 100% job placement, but it didn't happen. The reason for that, people promise a lot but they don't deliver. When it comes to Let's Upgrade, I'll explain you what the promise is, and I believe this is the most genuine promise. They will help you with placement until and unless you're placed. Now this is something, a very big commitment that they're giving. All the lectures are 100% live. Now the best part, which can happen in full stack, is that they will deliver you more than 15 plus projects. This is what the company promises. Now tutors like me, they'll bring on board some personal projects also. So this is the best way. I believe that someone who wants to learn programming, data science, data analysis, or whatnot in the field of data science, you can definitely talk to the respective managers. I believe there also will be a link right now available to you, or somewhere which you can follow for further details. Now coming back once again, in today's session, I hope that you are clear with different data types. For a short summary, we have strings, integers, we have dictionaries, tuples, list. There is also something known as Boolean, which I must have forgotten to teach, but this is what it means. It is very simple. It only means true or false. It is useful when you have to activate something and not. Suppose if I want to activate something like print A, now A will have a value of true. If A is true, do something. If A is not true, do not do something. Or if B is false, do something. This is where Boolean comes into picture. It is like an activation of not yes or no kind of a thing. Now I believe till here we are clear. You also understand numbers now, because I explained numbers right over here, somewhere around where I explained complex numbers, integer and floats. So once even that part is clear, we can go and understand basically again how to specify variables. Now you know that also. You have a variable name, and basically equal to that side you have the value. Okay, so yeah, this is something. And so this is all useful. We can go into as much as depth you want, but believe me, you don't want all this depth. Suppose if you want to store a multiple line, so this belongs to Python, and this is in multiple lines. You can see even this will work as a multiple output. There are so many things, like not you cannot be taught in one single lecture, but you should understand that your learning curve, what should be the output of this 2 days batch should be that you should be very much familiar with what Python is and how you can start your learning in Python. Believe me, after you end tomorrow session, tomorrow we will be writing a code. You will have a lot of homework. I'll give you one challenge, and I'll be interested to see the answers to it. By tomorrow you will build your programs in Python. So stay connected. If you have any doubts, this is a very good time to connect uh, for any doubts which you have right now. No issues till then. Now, booleans are, again, I told you true false. They are very useful in activation or not. So suppose if 10 is greater than 9, you should say what? You see the answer is true. This is the value. But if I say 4, you say this is false. This is where booleans are really useful. So again, once you have covered that part, also data types, then comes the operators in Python. So what about Python operators? So Python operators are something like plus, minus, divide, something like that. So if I say print 5 plus 4, what is this 5? This plus, this is the operator in term. It will give you what? The output is 9, right? So again, there are many different type of operators. So first, let me comment something that we are learning operators in Python for now. And let me give you one specific, you can say code, print 5 plus 5, print 10 minus 5, print 5 multiplied by 5. Multiplied operator, it looks like this, star. You have to divide, print 10 divided by 5. You have to say, use a modulus, which is to find a remainder. So 12 modulus 5. If you run this, you will see there are so many different outputs. 5 plus 5, what it is? 10. 10 minus 5, again 5. 5 multiplied by 5, 25. 10 divided by 5, 2.0. If you divide 12 by 5, what is the remainder? 2. Right? So this is something that, and there could be much more, like there could be exponential operator, which is something like this when you have to do square. Say 2 star square 2, which means what? 2 square. I'll comment here. The first 2 is the number, the second 2 is the power. You see, this is how comments are useful in Python. You see, the answer is 4. 2 square is 4. What about 3 square? 9. Okay, so this is something that you should know. And there's floor division in Python. You can say 9 divided by 2. See, the floor division is something like this. 2 4s are the quotient is printed in floor division, where the remainder is printed, right? Okay. So when you have this, basically this is about the operators. Then these are what? These are what? Your arithmetic operators. So I'll write the first comment, which is arithmetic operators. So are these all in the operators? No. Operators could be of more types. They could be of assignment type operators, where you assign values. Now, assignment operators. But trust me, when you are learning something like a full stack course, things are not this fast. Things are much more details. After every example, we let students basically practice things. I have explained you what operators are right now. But if you're into a full stack course, there'll be practice exercises where every step you have to do, you have to code yourself. And that is how, even for the students, who do not enroll after this session, this is one tip that is very much important and it can help you learn Python faster. To learn Python, you will have to write code on your own. You'll have to literally, even if in start, you have to replicate things, but start typing with your own hands. This is what it could mean. So I'll explain you assignment operators in a simple way. So first would be the operator which is equal to. So x equals to 5. This is the operator where you assign values, the very basic thing. Now the other operator would mean, first of all, I will print x over here. The other operator would mean where you append values to it. So x is incremented by 3. So what would this operator mean? Okay, whatever value x holds, incremented by 3. The answer should be what? Can someone tell me what will be the answer if you increment 5 by 3? Because what is x? X currently holds 5 into it, right? Someone who has a good programming skill, or if doesn't, you should start developing this skill. You should try to predict the output before after seeing the output. You should know what this print x will do. You can start commenting what will be the value of x in the first print and the value of x in the second print. To understand the value, I'm explaining you this operator would mean that it tries to increment the value by 3. So 5 will be incremented by 3. Okay. Again, you can also say, and also, this value is again stored in x. So the value of x is modified now. X is no more 3 here in the second line. You should understand, first x was 5, then it is incremented by 3. So it is no more 5, it is something else. When you use operator something like this, decrement by 3, again it will change the value of x. When I run this command, you will be able to see, okay, first of all, now I'm not updating the value of variable x, I'm just incrementing or decrementing it. When you run this command, okay, I'll first have to comment this. It is printing a lot of things. Yeah. So you see, the first value is 5. When I run this increment by 3, it is becoming 8. When I say decrement by 3, so 8 minus 3 becomes again 5. Okay. So there are so many more operators. Again, you can combine the arithmetic operators also. Multiply by 3 would means, that this is 3 times multiplied by 3. Again, when I print x, you see 5 3s are 15. So this is how you can play around with the operators. There could be comparison operators also. Comparison operators, something like this would mean if it is equal to, I'll write a comment over here. Write a doc comment, preferably. What would this mean? If it is equal, example would be 5 equal to 4, this will say false, and 4 equal to 4 will say true, right? This is what comparison operators mean. This would mean not equal to. If it is not equal, example again could be 5 not equal to 4. This time again, the answer will be what? It will be true or false. It will be true. And again, basically 4 equal not equal to 4. This time the answer would be false. Operators would be greater than, smaller than is 5. I'll just write here only. If 4 is greater than 5, answer will be false. The other example could be 5 is greater than 4. This would be true. So many more examples. Less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to. I hope the comparison operators are also clear to you. What do they mean? I'll give you one print statement. 5 not equal to 4. Sorry, it will detect true now. Okay, just a second. So this is one way to look at it. Say this. So there will be a true output to 5 equal to 5. something like that. You can use operators. Now once this is done, I believe this clears your operators concept. Now there are many more operators, like there could be membership operators or identity operators. So currently, I will suggest not to bother much about them, because uh, currently you should first start with Python. बहुत simple रखो, keep it easy Python. But just just a part, I think you should know. So first membership operator would be, do not bother much about this. Don't be overwhelmed by whatever I'm teaching. In operator, it returns true if something is in something. So what did it mean? If I'll say a in list, I'll say if, or I'll say if 1 in 1 comma 2 comma 3 4, so this would return true, because you see 1 is available in this list. When will it return false? So it will return false when I say if 1 in 2 comma 3 comma 4, because 1 is not there in that list. So this is where membership operators are used, and the opposite of in would be is not in. Okay, similar, there is and is not. Okay, identity operators. Is x equals to y, is x not equal to y, something like that. Even these are used. Then there are logic gates like and, or, XOR, not. Even these are applicable as operators in Python. So keeping things clear till here, let us try to build a list, or let us today try to have some fun with some dictionary, let us say, or maybe like a list. Okay, so a is equals to let us build a hotel example only. Workers is my list. Then I'll say worker is my list. Then I'll say waiter is my list. I'll say cook is my list. Manager is my list. Let's keep this. Let's keep it fun. Say worker 1. Say worker 2. Suppose right now you are a developer for a hotel chain. Suppose you work for a hotel chain, and they want you to manage your data of different things. They tell you, okay, listen, Mister, anyone, that this is the data, and we want you to keep it in our database wherever. So this is how you will actually work with Python. Now by now you already understand what lists are. Okay, and when you understand that, say let us say let me write waiter 1. Let me just copy this. Yeah, waiter 1. Say waiter 2. Say waiter 3. Say waiter 4. Okay, and let us say cook. I'll have now say cook 1. Okay, now suppose this cook knows a very good Indian food, but I also need something more towards like someone who can make Chinese goods. I'll say cook 2, someone who makes good Chinese. Cook 3, someone who's good with desserts, something like that. Okay, then I'll need some manager. So suppose manager 1, he controls the desk. Suppose if I have some bar section, so maybe my manager 2 is handling that. Okay, suppose if I need a juggler in bar, or maybe someone who handles the bar, so maybe I have person 1. Okay, just one person doing this. Now I have to basically handle this data. So what happened is, suppose first we create all these lists. These lists are created. This is how in real life you will be using Python. If today I'm working for this project, this is how the project will look like. So you should keep this in mind. Now what is the next thing I can do before going it for before keeping it in the database? I can create a dictionary. Hotel data. This is the dictionary that I'm creating. Okay, in which I'll say workers is my key, and the value should be what? Workers. Now remember, when I'm typing worker over here, it means this variable workers. What does it hold in it? It holds this. So always remember, when I'm writing workers, it is actually trying to write this over here. This is what it means, right? This is what it means. And when I have that, I'll have waiter right over here, which will have waiter into it, and then I'll have cook, which will have cook into it. I'll have manager, which will have manager into it. I'll have a juggler. Now, I really don't know if someone who juggles the glasses is known as juggler or what. I'm really sorry, but I use this keyword, and keyword could be anything, do not matter. Once I done this, I run this command, it gives me no error. Now, suppose if I say print hotel data, this is something which my database will be fed to. Suppose tomorrow, this new worker comes in. Suppose I need more staff. So I'll say workers dot append is the function to append a list. Now I told you that list is something which can be used, which is mutable. You can add workers, remove workers. Okay. So how will do append? I'll say worker 4. And then run this command once. Once I run this command, and you see, first you check the previous output, what was in the past. 3 workers working in my hotel. Now run this command. You see now there is worker 4. Okay, let this be WRK only. Work 4 and work 4. As simple as that. Do you get it? Now suppose in my hotel tomorrow what happens is that suppose if my cook wants to quit. He was asking for a little more price and I cannot afford the cook for now. So cook 3 left. I'll say cook dot remove. When I run this command, you see my cook, how did it look? When I say this, you see my cook has only 2 cooks left now. So this is a way you can play around with list. You can do things. Now again, there is so much more details that we can talk about, that what are indexes and how to slice would mean to print different things. Like for example, if I just need to print something, the very first worker, so workers dot 0 would give me the very first worker. But this is something I will not teach today. Index slicing is I want to keep for tomorrow. But before we end the session, I'll be teaching you a little more about the looping in Python. So looping is little essential. Let us talk about that. So let us talk about one single loop, which is known as if or else loop. Now this is again a very easy loop to talk about. It is very much essential and very important. Loops in Python. What does loop mean? So loop means when you start from something and you get back to it, you're looping into it, round and round and round. You're flowing into it until and unless you break out of that loop. You're flowing into it. So let us say I have say salaries of different workers. Say this is one data which I'm creating. So worker 1 has 15,000. Don't use that comma for mentioning integer. Worker 2 has 20,000 salary, and worker 3 has again something around what, let us say 15,000 only. Okay, doesn't matter. So let us type that as 15,000 rupees. Okay, now so let us hold this for loop. Let me first talk about only if loop in very simple terms. This will become a little complex. Say A is equals to 10, B is equals to 12, C equals to 15. Okay, what does if loop does? So if is it is like a condition. So I'll say if is like a condition which something speaks like this. If true, then go for it. This is basically what if would mean. So if a is greater than 5, okay, if a is greater than what, 5, this is what I am writing over here. So what did I mention if loop as? So I mentioned if loop as something which is basically a conditional check. Okay. If that is true, then go for it. So this is the condition that I have written, and this is the format for it. I'll say format for if loop is something like this. If condition, right? So what is the condition right over here? In my example, it is if a is greater than 5. Is this condition valid? If it is valid, then it should say print. Yes, it is valid. Okay. When I run this output, yes, it is valid. Now, if I say if a is greater than 12, do you think this if condition is valid now anymore? You can comment out. Is a greater than 12? Do you think that pay? Probably not. No. And if it isn't, then what will happen? If condition is true, then it will run. It will enter that loop. But what if it is not true? Then it will run else. It will say it did not enter the if condition. When I run this command, what do you think will be the output? Will it print yes, it is valid? You can comment out. You can comment in the section yes or no. Will it print yes is greater than 12, or will it not? And if not, what will happen? It will go to the else. Yes, that is the logical way to think that yes, if a is greater than 12, this condition is not true. It will not enter this below written command. It will go to the else condition where it will print it did not enter the if condition. Run this, you see this is the output. Now, uh, again, when I talk about things, so Python supports, various logical statements. Now, one of which I used was basically this, greater than. This condition should also be fulfilled by less than, right? Or your equal to operator, okay? Equals and not equals, okay? Basically greater than, less than that, or it could sometimes also mean greater than or equal to, or sometimes would mean less than equal to, right? So this is less than equal to and this is greater than equal to. If keywords can have these conditions into it, right? So now let us say a is equals to 20. If a is greater than 30, print greater than 30. Instead of having directly else, I can have many conditions in my real life example. For that, elif is used, which means what? Else if. I'll comment out right over here what it means. Else if. Now what is this if stating right over here? It says if this condition is true to the below code line, else if the above condition isn't true, try this condition. Okay. Now what is the condition of elif? What do we mention? Is a less than or let me say greater than 25 now? Okay. What should be the statement? Print greater than 25. L if A is greater than or equal to 20. Is A greater than 20? No. But is it equal to 20? Yes. So I believe, this is where the code should enter now. Greater than or equal to 20. Else, none of the above conditions work. I run this command now. Do you already know what should be the output? Let me also do this as greater than 20. Then this greater than and greater than equal to thing would make sense. You see, it prints greater than or equal to 20. What does this mean? That this if else is nothing but a type of a loop in Python where it checks through multiple conditions. Now similarly we have for and while loops in Python, which are very much useful. Now, let me explain you while loop. Now while is a little harsh loop, I will say. Harsh loop. Why do I say harsh loop? While A is less than 30, print hello. Do you understand what will happen if I execute this command? Or first, let me explain you what while loop is, then I'll ask you this question. So while loop, I'll write the condition right over here, what it does. While the condition is true, keep on doing it. Keep on executing the commands. So you see, what is the condition that you are specifying to while? While A is less than 30, keep on printing hello. So what do you think, till when will the loop keep on printing hello? This is known as basically the infinite loop. This loop can never be broke. It will never break. Because A forever will be less than 30. Why? Because we mentioned A as 20, right? If you remember, our A is coded as 20. Let me also bring this to this cell. Oh, you see, I mistakenly executed, and you see it has entered an infinite loop. Now there is no way to stop this. Your system has crashed now. There's no way to stop it. The only way to stop this would be now you'll have to literally have to shut down the terminal. You'll have to interrupt the kernel manually. Stop this command. You see, it is stopping the terminal. And now once it has stopped the terminal, interrupted the terminal, it took some time even to stop that hello loop. And you see how much time it has been executed infinitely. So this is why I say while loop is a little harsh loop. Now it should be used carefully. There should be something like A should be decremented by 2 every time. Now what would this mean? Even before executing this, let me explain you what would this mean. First time when it checks the condition, what is the value of A? A value is 20. Is it less than 30? Sorry, I should use the increment. Is it less than 30? Yes, it will print. What will happen the second time? Second time, before running this loop, A now will be augmented or incremented by a value of 2. A will become 22. Third time, what will happen? Again, it will enter the loop, it will print hello, and it will say A is now 24. Okay? I hope you're understanding this. Now, while A is less than 30, still 24 is less than 30. It will print hello, then again get augmented by 2. Now, it will become 26. Now, again, it will enter. Is A less than 30? Yes, it is less than 30. It will go for 28. Again, when it comes to is A less than 30? No, it is not less than 30. Though it is equal to 30, but our condition is only valid if it is less than 30. So this is where it will terminate. So I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times we are expecting hello. Okay, when I run this command, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how basically while loop is used. If you have any issues in understanding the if else loops or while loops, good time to let me know that. So that this is or this is something that we do not understand. If you understand, well and good. Now, for a specific reason, I didn't teach you for loop today. Because I like to teach you for loop when I slice the lists or strings that I've kept as a part of tomorrow. And tomorrow, I told you, we are building something known as a small mini Python program. So there also we'll be using a lot of loops and many details into it. But before that, again, I'll explain you what we have learned. We learned to install Python today. We learned to set environment paths. We learned basically what is Anaconda. It is a package of different platforms, different IDEs, which are development environments. One example would be the Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook. The other examples could be PyCharm, Spider, RStudio, something like that, which runs on R language basically. All these, they are compatible on Python. Something that I guided you, go for Jupyter to start with. Also try to learn something about the terminal if you can. We learned about the general way to get started with Python, the syntax of Python, how to comment in Python, how to create variables, type of variables, data types, the numbers, how to basically cast things in, like print things in, or mention or explain things to Python. What are booleans, what are operators, logical operators, arithmetic operators, conditional operators, membership operators, and whatnot. We understood list, tuples, set, dictionaries. We haven't still sliced them because it is a something that we'll do tomorrow. Uh, we learned about something known as loops, which we covered while loop and for loop. Sorry, while and if else loop. Uh, the part for tomorrow should be, we should be also understanding some other concepts. And once we do that, basically we should look at some basic concepts or basic packages. One such package could be NumPy. I'll help you understand something and help you play around with it, and also give you a mini project, solve one project with you, and give one project as a homework to you. Meanwhile, if you have any doubt, I'm right over here. I'll try to once again stop sharing now and try to turn on the cam. And also sorry for the network issues that I face. So currently in Gurgaon, the place where I stay, there are indefinite, you can say, blackouts due to the heat waves. The electricity is shut for like more than 12, 16 hours a day. So probably, I hope today my data was a little problematic. I understand that. I'm sorry for that. But uh, I believe you saw something on the screen and learned something about it. And yeah, I guess this should be sufficient for today. If there is any issue, if there is any doubt, this is a good time to talk to now. Talk to me right now. Okay, I believe I am properly audible for this moment. Hello, Akansha ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, so can we conclude today's session? If there are any doubts, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Sure, sir, we can continue.
Yeah. So students, definitely, if you have any doubts, because I don't know, like I cannot see the students' chat coming in. If someone can help me with that.
So the students are typing the doubts in the YouTube chat box, sir. If you can see that.
Okay. Can you share me the live YouTube link somewhere? I haven't joined from YouTube for now.
Sure, sir, just one second.
Okay. So just give me a minute, students. Yeah, I got the link. Just joining the team. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay. Tell us how data structures is beneficial in data science. Okay. So yeah, I hope basically my voice is clear at the moment. And okay, let us basically talk about data structures. So now, first of all, when I talk about different data structures and algorithms, so they are two of the most important aspects in data science. Now, how basically, they allow you to basically store your data. Uh, the data structures are useful when you have the knowledge of that, basically what type of data are you handling, what is the structure of that data. Only then you can decide which type of database would be more relevant to it, how to retrieve or save that data. Okay. Now lists are mutable, and I also showed you like how you can append or delete things from list. And dictionaries, they generally have a key value, which I explained you with the library example, that how dictionaries can store many things into it. Okay, and then what will be tomorrow's topic? About the slicing of lists, how to basically use loops. We will be building some basic Python program, which is very important. I believe it is really very important to build that program. Once we build that, NumPy would be something that we'll be looking into. Yeah, so that is the aspect for tomorrow. Today's class is so informative, so thank you for spending a valuable time. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that you got some valuable things today. Difference between tuple and list explained. Okay, it's an ID for R. Yes, Zishan, correct. Yeah, R. It's yeah. Okay, so function. Akash Yadav mentions something about function. So if you guys are interested, I'll also explain you function a bit about tomorrow. Maybe probably that the code that we are writing tomorrow, we can write it in a function also. So someone also wrote for x in range of 1 to 10 for 2. So yeah, that is how you can use for loop. I see many comments. Great. I see that Zishan, Akash, Swaraj, uh, these people have commented a lot. I wasn't actually able to read these comments in the start, but now I can. Tomorrow I will be reading them from the very start. Perfect. So great, guys. I hope this should be all for today. Uh, I'll explain all things to you and your doubts tomorrow, possibly again. Okay. So anything else? Okay. Great. I think this should be sufficient. All clear. All right. Perfect. So I hope we can end the lecture, or just confirm with the team. Just give me a minute.
Yes,
So
sir, we can
Akansha,
end the
ma'am,
class.
am I audible to you?
Yes,
Yeah, we can
sir.
end the lecture, right? Great. So yeah, I'll be leaving the studio now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Welcome, everyone.